Hey guys, we're going to be talking about the Hasbro Pulse HasLab G.I. Joe Operation Dragonfly. So this is basically their Kickstarter for the G.I. Joe 6-inch line for a Dragonfly helicopter from the original G.I. Joe line, but scaled up, of course. Uh, this is really kind of a cool helicopter back in the day that had a little motor that kind of made the propeller turn, and you could put two G.I. Joes inside of it. It originally came with Wild Bill, as far as I remember, didn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
You
so
know where you could get him.
yep. So this is going to be running for the next 40 days. I think they launched it like a couple days ago. So you guys have up until July 18th to back it. There's going to be some tiers as well, similar to Kickstarter. But yeah, let's get into it. I wanted to talk about it since we had this as a kids and the comparison, everything that we're going to get in the new figure vehicle and everything. So, all right. Colin, is this the first time you heard about it?
Of this? Yeah.
I know me and Dad had been waiting to see what was going to be the figure, the vehicle, not big figure, but the vehicle we were going to be getting. But
Yeah, I'm still hoping for what I wanted it to be, but I figured that will be something like they did with the Vamp or the motorcycle, where you'll get a figure and a vehicle.
vehicle, yeah. We'll see. I mean, we already had the His tank before. I missed out on that one. Hopefully Rob will be able to get an extra one in and I can get it.
Well,
But
I mean, think you got the Trouble Bubble coming, so you would
yes,
want the Joe version combat vehicle that they use to fight the Trouble Bubbles. So,
mhm.
no, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, this thing is pretty nice. It looks like it's got light up LEDs inside the cockpit. Let's see if I can get that. Can't get this to be. There we go. But there you go, Colin. There's the full roster of everything.
See, now that's showing, well, Bill.
Yeah, Wild Bill.
Bill is supposed to, yeah, he comes with it. I'm hoping they do him as a single figure, but I won't hold my breath.
Yeah,
No,
I know. Well, as Josh said, when people start parting this thing out, you might be able to get it one for $100, which sucks, but um it's sad because this is something we were talking about before we started recording, is that they fund these so people can get one, but they don't use the mold that they made to make them to mass produce them.
No,
Uh,
that's because that's not the model anymore. The business
no.
model. Business model was most of the cost went into the creating the dies, and stuff to mass produce it. And then the way you brought the price down was you mass produced it. You
Yeah.
could get it to sell it through volume. They don't do that. They make all their money up front now.
Yeah. Oh, plus on top of that, we don't really have good storefronts for things like this. You think about the footprint in Target and Walmart, and that's about it. I mean, we don't really have Toys R Us anymore. We do, but not in the same way that we did before.
yeah.
No, but
Close.
think about this. We are looking at this from the United States. They sell this all over the world. That's why there are figures we've been waiting on that are showing up in Canada, Japan, Spain, and everywhere else long before we who here who prepaid even got ours.
Right.
So no, it's a game they play. I understand it. I'm not going to play it. But this is a wonderful thing for hardcore collector. But um, you could just as easily give me Wild Bill as 24.99 and I'd be happy. You
True.
know,
Um,
want to make me really happy? Give me my friggin' Alpine that I've been waiting on forever.
well, they still got stuff in the pipeline, but they need to start doing it. They need to get these figures out. They take too long with producing them, and then they don't. And think about it this way too. It trickles down from up north down here to the south or to the west, and by that time, you hope that you're going to get it without having to pay scalpers or anything else for the product that you want. Luckily, we have some connections to be able to get this stuff at retail, but it's a little hard. And I don't want to badmouth the situation too much, but I do have complaints. We do have complaints about that. We'll save that for another episode.
No, and if you can afford it, that's wonderful, but that's not how you build your customer base.
No, exactly. A lot of the stuff was built for kids back in the day, and they were mass produced. They were a lot cheaper, and now you're getting even more detail than we would before, but they're not designed for kids. They are literally designed for collectors. There's no parent, unless you're rich, that's going to go and sit there and buy this for their kid. As much as I'd love to be able to buy one of these for Edward, I can only barely afford one for myself. And I mean, this is one of those ones that are a must-have piece, but it's like, I would love to be able to see, kids playing with G.I. Joes these days. They don't have enough in the stores. They don't produce enough. Then they talk about them complaining about them not making enough money, but then they raise the price and make it even harder for parents to buy for kids. And on top of that, it's like, well, if you're a collector, it's not like what you used to do, Dad, back in the day, where you would buy 2 of them or 3, so that way you could sell one and recoup the money for mine or yours, depending if the item was hot or not.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: just their last big broadcast, they were talking about it being for kids and how that they were trying to get these done for children. There is no children buying this.
No.
Okay, and who is your target audience? You make things for smaller kids that later they're going to be buying when they get older, but you always got to keep that next generation of customer coming in, right? There's no new customers. There's no new generation coming up behind this. This is strictly for collectors and for people who can afford it. And that's sad. I mean, because look at this. I love this. I mean, yeah, it's got LEDs in it, but I've seen much better LED work for less, so
that's almost an RC.
Yeah, it is RC size.
Yep.
I mean, you're looking at I can't do it with my green screen, but I'll put up a picture. You look at like the Alley Viper over here I have, and how big that is. It's 6 inches. So then you have 2 figures that can fit in this. I mean, that thing
Is there 2 figures? I've only seen 1 figure fit in it. 2 figures can fit in.
As far as I know, it should be 2 cockpit. Let me see if see, there's two seats. So
wasn't there a picture of one of them that had the open cockpit?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on, let me get to it.
Yep. Pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's enough that's got to be deep enough for the legs to go bend down and go in. Because McFarlane couldn't even get his Batmobile, which is bigger than this, to fit his Batman.
That review I need to get out, but that thing is amazing, but there's problems with it. That glossy paint instead of a matte finish, and there's no playability on that thing at all other than the cockpit opening. It's really just a piece to stand on the shelf. I mean, or sit on the shelf. There's nothing for a kid to be able to have any kind of play value. There's no the machine guns popping up on the sides, like it did originally. But
looking at this, I can see somebody taking it apart and turning it into an RC.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's room for that. But
and drone technology is shrunk down now, so
there's your Wild Bill.
Yep, been waiting on him a long time. Yeah, look at the hat, man, great.
Well, you can take the hat off and put his little hair.
No, I know.
He's got the 2 Colt 45 for
the revolvers, yeah.
Revolvers. All right, so yeah, of course.
I mean, it's a gorgeous piece, man. It
is.
really is.
I mean, you think about this. This is about the same size, or maybe a little shorter. I don't know. I'd have to look at my the snow speeder, and see how that looks versus this.
Now it's okay, 3409 width.
Oh no. So then this is larger than that because this is 2.5 feet. It's taller.
Yeah,
than
that's from
6
tip.
inches.
That's from tip to tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
So
one,
is that
two,
in centimeters or millimeters?
Millimeters. Right. No, they have the millimeters. This is probably centimeters or feet, 8 inches.
so it's
It looks like
roughly
Yeah.
this long.
It gives it in inches as well.
Yeah. 30,
Yeah, that thing is huge.
30, it says, yeah, on the right there, it says 3409.
Hmm.
So
yeah,
that would be,
that's
that is
either
this.
that's either a mounted hanging from the ceiling display or a special display.
You're gonna have to put it, profile
Yeah.
or white. Well, technically, no, it wouldn't be profile. It'd have to be, you know, but
Man, I love the missile effects.
I love the LEDs. I mean, yeah, LED lighting feature at the push of a single button. I love the blast effects. I love that Hasbro's doing these for playability, with the G.I. Joes or the Transformers have been the main ones, and then even Star Wars now.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. The two missiles it's firing, it's already fired them. That's the contrail coming off of the missiles
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
they leave. So it's, I mean,
There you go, Dad. Oh,
okay,
nice.
that's what I wanted to see. So it does have exterior
Rear
lighting.
lighting. Yeah. Let me see. There was another
The
one.
vest comes off him too.
Working rotor blades. So the cool thing about this is that we know that the bonus figure, that if it hits 13,000 backers, we're gonna get Ripcord, of course.
Ripcord first, yeah.
And it's the Night Force version, so they can just easily retool this as his standard version with the green
Yeah.
camouflage outfit, which I think this figure right here is the one I'm most anticipate. I mean, I want the most out of the whole thing because I loved him in the comic, especially that story arc with him going against Zartan, and because Zartan killed his girlfriend. And I'm curious. I want to know who these next two figures are, and then there's a possibility, depending on how this goes, they could add more tiers to it. They've done it. They did it with the, I believe, with the his tank, and they've done it with a couple other of their HasLab stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like I said too, I think the color scheme on this is the Night Force color scheme. It's even got the logo on it, so it's not a standard
Yeah.
Dragonfly. So that means that they could mass produce this as the regular version, and then we might get another Wild Bill. The only sad thing is this Wild Bill is the standard version of Wild Bill. Let me see.
So you got him in basically the flight suit, and then everything else is accoutrement to it, which is really cool.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that if they don't do a Sky Striker, which would be even bigger than this. I mean, you're looking at probably like 3.5 feet. Yeah. That we might get Ace.
Well, what was the jet they did before? It was the
Well, they haven't done one. Just well, they oh yeah, they did the Sky Striker, but they did it for the original O-ring figures.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which
Which
again,
then they killed that whole thing. You know.
well, no, it backed. That was the only one that backed out of
No,
it.
no, I'm saying the whole O-ring line is just kind of
It's
is
gone.
gone.
Yeah, it's gone
Yeah.
now. I mean, you can still get the old figures, but it's gets pricey with some of that stuff. And I like these because the detail and they remind me of the show. I'm literally looking at what I watched in the cartoon. Um, let me
Need
see.
a little bit more handlebar in the mustache.
Um,
Yeah.
well, let's see. Elaborate detail. Command cockpit interior, detachable gull wing canopy. Let's see. Multiple kind of customization or armaments. Functioning holsters, cannon details,
Voice.
6 blast effects, removable access panels, uh, hanging cannon access doors, which I think are
The the big yes.
yeah these right here.
And probably up there along the engine line. That
Right there.
looks like it right there.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I do love the flight stand. That's really cool. Let's see.
With the flight stand and the light on it makes it look like the bottom like a bottom spotlight is working.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does.
You know.
Movable V tail wing, adjustable stabilizer wings,
Right.
counter rotating coaxial turbine details, engine cover, exhaust vents, clear display stand, 10 inches, 15 degrees. Nice.
Full sticker sheet, of course.
That'll be fun. I should take this over. Hey, Dad, can you put the stickers on like old days?
I think
I think I can do it now.
at $275,
They could paint
You
it
should get the
on.
stickers
you
put
can
on it.
put this on there and have it painted on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just lazy.
Well, it
Yeah, see,
depends.
there's one panel open, and that's for what a Gatling gun or what?
Yeah. Could be a
Okay, and then
gas
right there,
can.
the engine. You can get to the engine compartment for the turbine.
I don't know. I mean, that's going to look annoying if there's stickers, really. I mean, personalize your assault copter fleet with custom applied labels for customization. Maybe it's something
Well,
extra. Some of the stuff doesn't look like
Yeah,
a
if you want
sticker.
to put them on, yeah. Like on in the
Like
middle
on
picture
the
there.
yeah, with the chips.
yeah,
Yeah, if you want
some
to
of
put
that is not stickers.
That is yeah, exactly. That's not sticker, that's painted on. I mean, I understand that some of this stuff is the uh computer generated look, not the
Yeah,
actual. Because I mean, you look at right down here, that is the
and
prototype version.
yeah.
Thing is huge.
Man, that's nuts. NVTS nuts.
You should send that to your dad and say, hey, can you get this for me? Remember this?
What, my dad?
Yeah,
He'd be laughing.
I
He'd be
know.
laughing all the way through the rest of his chemo.
Uh, we definitely should show this to Randy so he can see it.
yeah, and the other thing is, uh, it will change a bit from the
Yes, yeah,
prototype to the
prototype, yeah.
final release.
Yeah, because I mean, you can definitely tell the gull wings aren't on this right here. That's a full
Canopy.
piece canopy. Yeah. Let me see. But yeah, that man, record looks great. And all the weaponry. That's the one thing I like about the classified line now is that we're starting to get more realistic weapons versus the first couple
the
waves of
first.
figures where they were all laser weapons because it was based off the game.
Right.
So who do you think these next two figures are going to be?
Well, if
Well,
they're
they've already got an airborne figure coming out, so you can probably take him off of it.
one of them could be Ace.
One of them could be Ace.
One might be Cobra, something or other.
Actually, you know what? I could see Scarlet with her that one outfit, the pilot outfit she had.
Pilot,
The blue
yeah.
one. I could see that.
One could be a Snake Eyes pilot.
Who else?
Be right back.
I don't know. Maybe you could do. I got to think about who's in the Night Force line.
You know, it's going to be either an easy to make figure, it's going to be a repaint of something existing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, with the flight suit, it would be easy to do an Ace, unless you wanted to do like one of the ones that's the high altitude.
The Halo jumper.
Well, that's what.
Well, that's what his
no,
outfit looks like.
When you're in the stratosphere and stuff like that, depending on how high you fly up with the jet.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this looks great. I'm looking forward to see how this goes. I mean, we're already at, I think, over 11,000. So I say by Friday we're going to hit ripcord. So we'll probably get a good actually
Limit 5 per customer. Wow.
Yeah. I'm
okay. So they hit their target.
Yes, they've already hit their targets. So this is getting made regardless. To get the ripcord, we need to get 13,000, and then after that, it's I think 16 and then 18 of backers. Let's see. Woo-hoo. Let's go. Yeah, no, 16, 19. So I'm pretty sure we're going to hit this because I know Rob's going to try to buy a bunch to fulfill people's needs. So he might have multiple accounts to be able to do it.
Right. All right. So classified recruit. So that tells me it's going to be a Joe.
Yeah, we probably get a.
Who else was helicopter certified? Let's start there. Like Snake Eyes was, Scarlet was, Duke was.
I mean, just look at Duke. I'm sure Hawk is. I think we're probably going to get an infantry person. I know they're already doing a grunt.
Yeah.
Clutch will come with a vehicle. If they do a clutch, he's going to come with a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be somebody who takes care of the airplanes, a mechanic, somebody who works in. It doesn't necessarily have to be a main Joe.
I'm going to throw something out here. We grade is because if you're running in a helicopter, you might have a communications officer. And dial tone would be fantastic in this. Or
yeah, but I think
mainframe.
I saw maybe him, but I think I saw dial tone is on the list of possible, or that
figures, yeah,
that number that pipeline name thing that they've got going. So
but I am backing this. I'm just gonna work a couple more overtime and stuff to put that aside so I can get it and I'll review it. But
who was the original what was Flash? He was the
he was the come on. There was Zap, who was the wow, I'm totally blanking on my original 13 Joe knowledge.
Because he had like
Breaker was technically the original communication officer.
Yeah, it could be one. I would love to see one of the original, some of the originals they haven't done yet.
That's where I'm thinking one of these two will be.
I could see a Breaker that would fit into this.
Well, it wasn't. I know Clutch was the van driver, but he was also the mechanic. I thought Short Fuse was also, but he's the mortar infantry trooper.
Yeah.
But Hawk would be nice. But I mean, I still think it's going to be someone that was originally a part of the Night Force line. I guess I can look that up over here.
It's not going to be Hawk because Hawk's getting his own main figure. I don't remember who all was in the Night Force, and since this is Night Force, that's
Yeah. Let me
Airborne and Night Force, so it could be one of the original. Bring them up. Bring up the list, and
I was going to say do a cross search between original
Yeah.
Joe and Night Force. Be able to start narrowing things down.
All right, so ooh, okay, hold on a second. Let me Okay, so the first version of the Night Force was released in 1988 and included the following figures: Crazy Legs, Lieutenant Falcon, Outback, Psych Out, Sneak Peek, which could work, Tunnel Rat, which would be fantastic, but we're already getting a Tunnel Rat.
right, yeah.
Let's see. They had a list of vehicles, additional roster: Charboil, Lightfoot, Muskrat, Repeater. Shockwave would be cool. Spearhead. Yeah, so she's all done. So of that list, in 2004, Toys R Us released an exclusive six pack and consisting of Action Man, Beachhead, Flint, Roadblock, Short Fuse, and Tunnel Rat. But
okay, how many of those have been made or are in the pipeline?
Falcon has been made, Outback's been made, Tunnel Rat's on the list.
On the list. He's already actually out. Some people have gotten him in other countries. So
what about Roadblock?
Crazy Legs has not been done, but he would be, because he's an infantry air trooper, airborne ranger.
Yes.
Yeah, Roadblock's been done a few times.
Let me see if you did. Yeah. Yeah, I would lean towards it being Crazy Legs, but because we just got two different versions of Outback, I doubt that we would get the night version of a Falcon, but I would.
Since we just got we've had Tiger Force and the other one. I doubt it.
And we just got we got two versions of Outback. We got who was it? I thought there was another Dusty. We got two versions of Dusty. We got his regular version and then Tiger Force coming. Yeah. I don't know. It's a hard thing to think about. I don't know. I mean, let's stick with that theme.
Well, you know what? Just to go off the rails here, give us somebody from Cobra Law. Colobulus, that would be great.
Nemesis Enforcer.
Nemesis Enforcer, yeah. Or even the chick. What was I? Okay, that dated me. What was the female? The one who could
I don't man, my joke cred's going out the window here. I don't remember her name at the moment. I could look it up, but I'm lazy. Yeah, I don't know. There's a good possibilities if they continue with the Night Force side of it would be kind of cool. But Wild Bill's technically not Night Force, so it does extend the range for what these two figures could be.
Yeah.
And I think that since we've had a Scarlet in her flight suit in the 25th anniversary line, I don't know. I don't remember there being.
There's been three Scarlets already, so the classic one that looks more like the classic outfit, the original one that came out
And in
where
the movie,
it had
yeah.
all the armor stuff on it. There's been the movie version.
Yeah, that's
I'm hoping they don't do another one. You know, there are
well. I
other
want
characters I'd
if they're
like
going
to
to
see.
do it, since they've already started doing the classic versions of these characters, I want a classic version of Scarlet instead of the one that we got that's up here that has the color scheme and body armor from that video game that they came out with. Um, yeah, I don't know. It looks good. I mean, because surprisingly, with all the LEDs and how large this thing is, I mean, I've seen things go for a lot more compared to what this is going for. So I'm surprising it is as cheap as it is for what we're getting. And then once you think about the other three figures we're getting, it's going to bring that price down a little bit.
Yes. If you think about each figure being
25 bucks.
a piece, that's 75 off of it.
So it's only like a
So that
$200
which
vehicle.
it's a $200 vehicle.
Correct. Plus you're getting Wild Bill, which would have came with the original figure. I mean, the vehicle anyway. So
Well, yeah. Okay, so you add that in, that's 100. So it's $175 vehicle.
So it's, I mean, in that terms, you think about like how much the giant Titan Transformer figures are at this point in time. They're about $200 now.
But isn't that Hasbro?
That is Hasbro.
Okay, so don't bring that up because we're going to start seeing a pattern.
Well, the thing is that luckily we haven't gotten, giant other than, Unicron, which I still would love to get. But
And,
things
and
never
their
gonna happen.
Hasbro is making a big deal about crossing over G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Right. And we also have what is it, He-Man and something else crossing over with Mattel.
So
Hmm.
it would be nice, if you were going to pay that for this, if this had been a transformable thing, I'm going to get that.
Well,
But
the what is this? Vortex would technically be this. I could see a blue version of this. Not Vortex.
Mhm.
It's oh, come on, what's the name? I think it yeah. I think it is Vortex.
I got nothing.
it's still pretty sweet. I can't deny that.
Well, yeah,
I
for the combative cons, and then you have
I can't justify getting it, for me, do I not want to eat for a month? Yeah, I could do that.
well, if they had some kind of way to make it to where you could, if someone wanted this, they could do a payment plan. That wouldn't be too bad. You can pay 4 payments of it a month, or I don't know. But I mean, it looks great. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to do an unboxing for it, but we'll see how it goes. Probably won't have this until next year sometime.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If anything, we probably won't even see this until Christmas next year, maybe, if not somewhere around in October, depending on when they ship it. But I do wonder what the next one. I was telling Rob, I think the next vehicle they should do, since they've done land, sky, they need to do sea, and I'd love to see like a Cobra hydrofoil. That'd be kind of cool. Or
the
water moccasin for
yeah,
Copperhead.
the Copperhead. Since I've done Copperhead, give him his vote.
Yeah, well, the same thing. You could do the same thing for Zartan and his skiff.
Yeah, that would be something to see.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we didn't get the snowcat with or not snowcat, but the snow sled with
Snow job.
snow job. but I don't know if they keep doing.
Wow, yeah, really. You would think with Snow Job it would have been
Yeah, his snow
the
sled.
snow sled, yep. Um, and the skis were more for what's his name? The other Arctic Joe, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Frostbite, and then Stalker had a Arctic gear outfit.
Well, if you remember, the original Snow Job had both the skis and the sled
And the sled, yeah, because you remember you could put his skis on his
on his
back.
back, and
Yeah,
then it came in an
and
X.
yeah.
Yep.
But that was before they started saying, "Okay, we need some more Arctic people." So
You know, it would be cool to see a whale, but that thing would be so huge. You know,
I'm gonna throw this out there. It would be awesome to get the original GI Joe headquarters in a,
oh
because it
man,
wasn't that much stuff. I mean, you think about it,
it was just huge.
it was just, yeah, it was just perfectly for figures. You could just redo that, upscale it to the 6-inch line, and
yeah, I could just hear wives going, "Honey, it's it or me. Let me help you carry your baggage out to the car."
I'm gonna have to get a second job to afford all this, to have a second house for just my toys. It's the house.
This is the new crack,
It
the new
is.
cocaine. Try snorting that.
That's why they call it the plastic crack. I mean, it is. But um no, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with some of these other HasLabs in the future, but it's going to get ridiculous. I mean, you have to do, I don't know where you put it. I mean, even if you would do a flag, you wouldn't be able to do the whole thing. There's no way you would do an 18 to 20-foot long USS flag that you could put all these things on and it'd be accurately scaled. It would have to be like you got a section of the flag, you know. That's the only way you
Well,
could do it.
you
Unless
know,
you actually went out and
they've
bought
got
an 18 by 20 flag.
we got the dreadnoughts coming,
Yes.
and I'm betting we're going to see at least one dreadnought motorcycle. Or what was their the vehicle they all rode on?
Oh, come on. This is what happens when you don't talk Joe in a while. I know the driver was Thrasher, but
This is why we needed Josh on here because he knows all this stuff. He memorizes it.
I used
Um,
to, but
I have too much knowledge in my head to remember some of this stuff.
But I'm looking forward to the dreadnoughts. That'll go right next to my Zartan. I don't think I'm gonna. I missed out on getting the brother and sister, and unless I can find them cheap, I'm not gonna get them.
The Thunder Machine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Thunder Machine.
That'd be cool. I actually would love that, see that as a as one of these. I could see it. I mean, some of the vehicles, smaller vehicles, you could totally do. You could totally all striker the
Man, I'm waiting for them to do the gliders. Come on,
yeah,
bring in the gliders. I mean, you could do that, and it wouldn't be that expensive to make them.
no, they wouldn't be that expensive.
no,
Not at all.
you could do like a multi-pack type
Mhm.
of thing.
I mean, the closest we can do to this would be the Cobra Fang, but that could be just a standalone release because it's still smaller than the Dragonfly. Now
Yeah,
it
still, what was Deep Six's vehicle? The Shark? What was it
Shark,
called?
yeah.
The Shark. You could do that.
So the one that you want, Dad, is the Skyhawk.
Yes.
Uh, you, I would love a Rattler, but
Yeah. It would be huge.
yeah.
It would be like this cockpit, but huge. You know, an A10. Man, that would be fun.
Hmm.
Like I said, you'd need a whole room in your house devoted just to GI Joe.
I don't, between NECA stuff, between Star Wars, Transformers, the Gundam stuff I'm getting, classified figures. I don't understand. I can't keep collecting everything. And we don't even know, because this is the first thing, because usually they start doing the HasLabs technically right around October to December. So we're destined to see probably another Transformer. I'm hoping I can try to get a Deathsaurus second hand to go with Star Saber. But we'll probably see another Transformer. We're probably going to see another Star Wars if they weren't tainted by the fact that they tried to do the life-size Rancor. And I think the Riva lightsaber failed too, which is a good thing. And then we had Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters backpack too.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what they're going to do. But it's definitely something to ponder. And hopefully they'll stay afloat, because I mean, I know they aren't doing financially well either.
Nope. And they're not going to if they keep up the business model they have.
And then, it'd be nice to see another G.I. Joe Transformers crossover figure instead of, because I'm sorry, but that Megatron, his tank sucked because of the way the plastic was and the way it was designed. But the All Striker Bumblebee was fantastic, except for it was Bumblebee. It needed to be Beachcomber. But I'd love to see a Rolling Thunder Optimus Prime. That'd be fantastic. But that thing would be.
If you're going to do that, you could do what is perfect for military. Give me a Hound.
Exactly.
And,
Give me
Clutch to ride in with it.
Give me the Vamp. Yeah, give me the Vamp with Hound as the as the bot. Or a Night Raven that transforms into Starscream and Thundercracker.
Starscream, yeah.
But then again, that figure is huge. Or you could
have him a combiner. You could make an actual combiner out of the SR-21. That, what was it called again?
You're talking about the not Blackbird, but the whatever.
Oh, the upgrade, the next in the series there.
The one that they did for G.I. Joe, the
Night Raven.
Night Raven.
Yeah,
you could do that as a combiner. Have multiple parts that fit together that makes the Night Raven, and then breaks it apart. Come on.
Oh, how about this? Give me a Jetfire. The Sky Striker, or how about give me a A10 Warthog that transforms into Power Glide?
The Power Glide. Cool. Okay, now that we're dreaming, man,
yeah, we're
come
dreaming
on.
of things
How about the tank? How about a tank?
Yeah, is Megatron?
Warpath. No,
Warpath.
Warpath
yes,
is perfect. I mean, he was already a tank. Come on.
Yes. Yeah. The Mobat as a Warpath. Yeah, I could see that.
Who was the original A10 pilot?
Wild Weasel.
Yeah, Wild Weasel.
What if he's one of those?
Well, he would be a Cobra. It looks like they're doing Joe's for this one.
No, I mean, no, there was didn't
they had the Tiger Force version of it, and I don't remember who the pilot was for that. But they could, technically they could do give me a second. Yeah, they could do a since it's smaller than the Sky Striker, they could do the Conquest as the G.I. Joe vehicle for the plane.
That's the swept wing, the reverse wing.
Yeah,
fighter. Okay.
And that would give you Slipstream, and you could probably put Ace in there and stuff like that, because that's a little bit more reasonable as far as size. It would compare to like this one here versus you're looking at like almost 3.5 feet for a Sky Striker. I mean, I don't know. You'd have to collab with somebody who does remote control airplanes and stuff. But I don't know. It's cool to see this. I'm glad we're seeing this. I had high hopes that we were going to see more of the vehicles for the 6-inch Star Wars stuff, and we only really got a few of them. The Snowspeeder was the last one we got, besides
We got the land speeder, we got the snow speeder.
Yeah, we got the speeder bikes, we got uh the Dupac, we got Ray's little speeder,
And we got a Tauntaun.
we got a Tauntaun. Yep. I think there was one other thing. Oh yeah, we got the Black Series. No, the Black Series, but the um from the Force Awakens, the TIE fighter, the giant TIE fighter.
Yeah, okay, yeah. What movie was that?
Yeah, I don't know. They
I
were
don't
supposed to
think-
release a regular version of that. I remember seeing images of it. I don't know if it ever came out. I don't need the first order black and splotch red TIE fighter, even though I'd love to have it just to repaint it and make it into a regular TIE fighter with that blue and gray look. But I don't know. This is a lot of plastic they're pushing out, so
Yeah.
we got it right around the corner too. I think they're talking about with Transformers, we're looking at another Titan coming. I don't remember which one it's supposed to be, but they just did the Sentinel Omega Supreme, the ones that are the Guardians.
Yeah, the Guardians.
So but yeah, I mean, I would like to see them put more of the retro vintage figures or the modern figures, because those were ones I was buying for my son. They weren't too expensive. And I mean, we at least got some vehicles from it, but you know, some people didn't want it. At the time when they were releasing it, a lot of people weren't into the modern Joe figures. At least the 25th and up. So of course now that's a boom, but as Rob was talking about it tonight in his stream, you know, it seems like everybody's dropping those for these because they're better detailed. They're
I don't know about that. The 25th and up, there were some really good detailed
oh yeah, they were very good.
3.75 figures. I mean, I went back and bought some of the ones that I had sold when I sold my collection, just because of how I loved the new look for them.
Right, and I understand that because me and you were on the same page. But there's a lot of people that didn't like it. They slept on that line. I mean, me and Josh have talked about it a lot. That was a great line, and people slept on it. That's why the line died, because when Toys R Us was kind of at the end of its life, they were just trying to push what they could out, Hasbro anyway. And
well, think about this: there was nothing driving it. There's no real G.I. Joe comic that's really hot. Only the people who have been keeping the comics going for a long time were buying that. There's no new cartoons. The movies they put out sucked. So you're not drawing any new generations in on that. Put a new cartoon out. You're gonna, and then let it percolate. Don't go, oh, we're gonna put this out. If we don't sell 1,000,000 pieces in 30 days, we're gonna cancel it.
Well, they did, remember? We had G.I. Joe Renegade, which was fantastic.
Renegade was great.
2 seasons, but the problem was it was on a channel that not everyone had on cable.
Yeah.
And this was at the point where people were transitioning from cable to
streaming
services. So that was a double whammy on them for that, because they could have put this on like Netflix. They could have put it on Cartoon Network. They could have put it on somewhere that is a mainstream network that it would have thrived on.
Heck, you know what? I'm going to say this. Little kids are still little kids. If somebody was smart enough to reinstitute Saturday morning cartoons, you would have a whole new generation growing up and following. You got parents begging their kids for something else besides having their face buried in a screen or on something electronic.
Right.
And these are the kids that are too young to go outside by themselves. So Saturday morning, parents want to sleep in. Hey, go put on cartoons. And I'm sorry, but Cartoon Network, Boomerang is just showing old cartoons, and it's still very profitable. It's still out there. So that shows you there's an audience for the older stuff. Take the older models, tool them, and then reintroduce them, and you'll grow your audience and you'll grow your fans.
Well, I mean, so It's definitely something we could bring up on the podcast. I'd love to really kind of go deep into that more than what we did, because last time we just talked about what we remembered of things, but we didn't really talk about the importance of Saturday morning cartoons, and really how like important it was for us growing up, especially for me and you, Dad, to connect, because we would like pull out my toys and we'd watch cartoons and play G.I. Joes or Transformers,
Transformers, and Star Wars on the floor, I mean, for me, we had Battle of the Planets, which was Gotchaman. You have had all of this anime that was being brought over, retooled for American audiences, new stories added. And you raced home to get home in time to either watch them after school, or you got up early to watch them before you went to school. And I can tell you right now, none of my grandkids do that. They sleep until it's time to go out the door. And then when they come home, the last thing they want to do is watch something. And that's because there's nothing interesting for them.
Mhm.
Give them a better alternative to sitting in front of a computer and playing on, and they're wanting it so bad they're making their own content.
Yeah.
Just look at Instagram, you look at TikTok, you look at, just all these other social media where you see people generating stuff and generating animation and all this other. So they're starving for that, and nobody's figured out what to do with it.
Well, and that's the thing, YouTube is a great platform for some of that. There's people out there that are making animation and putting it out there. But and that's the thing. These studios could be scouting some of these people out there for some good content to, having a real animation team to put it together and put it out there. There's people that get tons of funding for garbage, and there's some really good content out there that could get that funding and excel and bring a whole new level to cartoons and things like that for people. There's definitely a worldwide range of animation from around the world, especially Japan, that we don't really see as much anymore. We do, but you have to go on streaming services, or you have to, be lucky to go find it online, on Amazon, because you have to buy the whole series or whatever, or Crunchyroll. But it's like it's a whole different thing when you used to be able to like go on a TV, turn on whatever you want to watch, and have to watch it like maybe week to week or every other day. But as far as going back to this thing looks gorgeous. The detail on this is fantastic. I'm ready for it. So, Dad, your thoughts last bit here?
I love it. I just price point. I think price point is hurting them, and this model of using what is effectively what is it?
Well, it's crowdfunding, but
But what was the first one that really came out and did it?
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. It's basically that. And
well, and that's the sad thing. Kickstarter was designed for people that didn't have the capital to plead their case about something to provide to an audience that may want it. So they got the funding from the crowd. This is a company that has the money to manufacture this stuff on their own and then mass produce it to make money. But they continue to do what they do. And it's not just Hasbro. This is a lot of companies. Even luckily, like NECA's starting to get a little bit better about this, where, at first, when they were trying to find these figures, they only produce it limitedly. So yeah, it creates this artificial buzz.
Demand. It's an artificial demand.
It's the FOMO.
It is.
And then it creates the FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. And people want to race to go get it. But what it does, honestly, is it feeds that reseller market. It feeds the scalpers because they know people want it. So they're going to do whatever they can to get that money and then charge whatever for it. So,
well, and you can see that in this. They met their goal, but how many people are buying more than one?
Correct. How many people are buying more than one
so they can turn around and know that they're going to be able to mark it up to about $1,000 after 6 months after it comes out.
Right. Well, And so there's nothing wrong with maybe a little bit of markup. Maybe you buy 3 of them, you sell 2 at a certain markup. That's not going to hurt anybody because you're providing a service for somebody. Because yeah, that's the fee of missing out on what you did. You didn't back it at the time. So and then you get one free. You used to do that. That's fine. But holding it, just waiting so that way it triples in value, and then you're gonna use that FOMO to make sure people buy it at that price. When Hasbro could literally turn around and start mass producing this, putting it in stores so people can buy it. But right now,
you could mass produce it and put it on Amazon, and the thing would fly off the shelf.
correct, you could. There's a lot of places that you could sell this. Big Bad Toy Store could sell this. Definitely. Yep. And don't get me wrong. I love what Hasbro is producing, but they need to rethink about how they do it, because in the long run, they're hurting the fan base. This is amazing, but this is the type of thing, unfortunately, that's going to push people away from the market because they can't afford it, especially with everything going on right now, food prices and whatever that's going on. People not making enough they just make enough just to make it by. And this is something they'd love to have because it reconnects them to their childhood, but they can't because the price point is so high. I mean, honestly, I can justify it, because I could make some overtime. The price range isn't too bad, but for some people it is. The sad thing too is like this Wild Bill figure that my dad wants. He doesn't want to have to buy the Dragonfly. He just wants the figure. This is something that there's nothing wrong with this figure that makes it exclusive, other than the fact that it comes with this, that they could just produce this figure, on the other side. But maybe the other figures, since they're Knife Force figures, or whatever they're going to do, they're limited to this. And then just to bring this up too, is that with previous ones, this one here, there wasn't too much that was released for this one that was not something they could produce this figure for. They could produce this figure no problem. But one of the stretch goals was that they had these different variants that you could choose from of the color scheme, which it would be exclusive to this product. But they had some add-ons and stuff. The only thing that they had that was really kind of a standout was that you got this
the
Cobra Commander that comes with extra stuff, and who's supposed to be scaled to whatever. And the cool thing about this one was you had all these LEDs, you had the paneling, you could change out the canopy, the
projection light.
Mm-hmm. You had a female trooper right there for the his tank driver. And then, but what was cool was the LEDs and everything inside of it. The cockpit lights up. And then when you go into the back, you have a troop carrier area. So you can actually put troops back there, and it lights up inside there. I mean, this is really awesome, but it's nowhere near the same size as freaking that Dragonfly. But you look at the price on it, it was $299. I think they were really, really stretching with this price. I think that's why when they went to the Dragonfly, they made it cheaper. But I don't know. I want this. I do. I missed out on it because they just didn't have the money when they decided to.
For that price, they should give you 2 or 3 of the extra figures.
That's what I thought they were going to do, but
I mean, it's just like Serpentor and the Chariot. You're going to be able to get Serpentor as a single, but unless you bought the Chariot, it's gone. You're not going to get it anymore.
Yeah, unless they start producing more, and that's the thing. Why not? We need to get into this in another episode because we're getting.
Yep, I know.
Colin, your thoughts on the Dragonfly?
I pretty much the same thing. I mean, it's beautiful and stuff like that, and immediately went back to thinking, hey, I had the original one back in the day, and I remember all the fun in the world in that. But if I was still a collector now, I'd have to look at that thing and say, just, that money could go elsewhere.
Well, that's true. That's true. And then I look at the fact too is that, back then my dad could have bought me one of these because I didn't have a Dragonfly. I had other vehicles.
No, I mean,
But
back then the prices were like $50 tops for things like this and the Striker.
I think this was 29 when it first
Yeah,
came.
it wasn't. It was maybe low 30s, but the most expensive thing back in the day was the base.
yeah,
was
the
like
bases were the
$100.
bigger things. Yeah.
But
So
now this is just, I mean, it's fantastic looking and everything, and the attention to detail is great and everything. But it's like you said before, this is not something you're just going to go and run around the yard with and get, however the blades run it, have tons of fun with it. You're gonna unbox it. You're gonna make sure it's put together right, and then it's gonna sit there.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and when your
shelf.
kid's going to touch it, you're going to go, no, 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 no.
Stop
That's
touching
not
the stuff.
That's not a toy.
It's gonna be like that scene in the Spinal Tap. No, you can't even look at it now. That's enough.
Yeah, yeah. But think about that. How many parents are going to go? How many collectors are going to go? No, no, hunt, you can't play with that. It's not a toy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a toy. It's not a toy. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is like my cat will be like, or my son's cat.
He's going to be challenge accepted. Hold my catnip.
It's like I'm either gonna have to hang this from the ceiling or it's gonna have to go into a glass case that's big enough to put this in because technically the D-top over here is not big enough for that. But it looks great. I implore people to back it, get it. But I think a message needs to be sent to Hasbro and other companies that this thing like this should be something for kids too. And I would love to be able to.
And it doesn't need to be cheap. I mean, Disney is learning that they've made some of the, we have to get Hasbro to make toys and other third parties to make decent Star Wars toys. When Disney makes it, they use the cheapest material, they look horrible, and they have horrible playability. And then they wonder why their merchandising is not going anywhere. Their merchandise is not selling. So find the happy medium.
Right.
We did it once, we can do it again.
And honestly, like you said, all they need to do is start a cartoon. Maybe do a continuation of the original G.I. Joe cartoon with some kind of like maybe CGI animation or whatever. Because of course you're not going to get completely hand drawn anymore. And besides, most animation with CGI can be pretty close. You could get a cell shaded look for animation, and just start a cartoon, and then produce toys for it. Yeah, we put things in place that you can't advertise for kids, but
yeah, see, that's baloney. We advertise everything to everybody.
Everything,
now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're not like complaining about, that I look on Facebook and there's like 15 billion ads before I get to see one post from my friends or one of the toy groups I'm in. So why can't we have cartoons on TV anymore and then have it sell for toys? Because, that would be an easy thing to entertain your kids by, especially something you could engage with your kids with instead of, oh, they're playing Roblox, yay, instead of other things. But anyway, yeah, guys. So
I gotta say, props to Hasbro. Great looking vehicle.
Fantastic. It is gorgeous.
Just mass produce them for the public, please. Or give us the big fans who kept it going for so long. Give us a little back.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're gonna give you a little back, but you're gonna have to pay to get that back. I'm just like, come on, guys. But all right, everyone. We will hope you enjoyed this. I will put the link for this in the description. Go check it out. If it's something that tickles your nostalgia, definitely, if you got the funds, go ahead and back it because, it brings them one step closer to showing them that we want these products, but it's one of those things you got to speak with your wallet. If you can't afford it, don't push yourself. Do not take out a loan to get it. Don't put it on credit cards. If you have the funds, get it. Just be wise, because it's one of those things. One day you go and get this, and then oh wait, I got to pay my car note and groceries. What am I going to do? And then you sell it.
And just remember, the apocalypse is just down the road, and you can go steal your neighbors.
That's true too. Yeah. But
I don't collect anymore. I'm just waiting for everybody around me to collect. I'm joking. That's a joke.
but all right, everyone. Catch you later.